Artificial intelligence. Since the inception of this term from the 1950s, has been a topic that has captivated the minds of many. This can be said especially nowadays, and as we continue to see advancements in technology, debates around the viability, necessity, efficacy, and ethics of artificial intelligence, or AI, have only become more mainstream. Like any debate, the one surrounding AI consists primarily of two groups. On one side, you have a group of people that believe that this technology has the potential to take mankind to the next level and solve some of our most existential challenges, such as scalable renewable energy, rare resource allocation, climate change, and international diplomatic affairs. On the other side, however, these people are a bit more skeptical, seeing most of the artificial intelligence space as either vaporware or an insidious means to further break the backs of the working class. The interesting thing about this debate around the validity of AI, though, is that it is in large part not an issue where contingencies form based on one's political affiliations, but rather on their personal convictions. Here's an example of this playing out. In this clip I'm about to show, Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson is on Ben Shapiro's podcast, The Sunday Special. Both men could easily be considered right-wing, but as you're about to see, both of them have very different outlooks on the role that automation could pose to play in society.
The question is, when the pedal hits the metal, like you talk in the book about technology and how it's shifting and taking away jobs from folks. Yes. And you make specific reference to truck driving and the fact that there are going to be these automated cars on the roads. So would you, Tucker Carlson, be in favor of restrictions on the ability of trucking companies to use this sort of technology specifically to, sort of artificially maintain the number of jobs that are available in the trucking industry?
Are you joking? In a second. In a second. In other words, if I were president, when I say to DOT, Department of Transportation, we're not letting driverless trucks on the road, period. Why? Really simple. Driving for a living is the single most common job for high school educated men in this country, in all 50 states. By the way, that's the same group whose wages have gone down by 11% over the past 30 years. The social cost of eliminating their jobs in a 10-year span, 5-year span, 30-year span is so high that it's not sustainable. So the greater good is protecting your citizens from, look, capitalism is the best economic system I can think of, I think that anyone's ever thought of, but that doesn't mean that it's a religion and everything about it is good.
No, but
there's no Nicene Creed of capitalism that I have to buy into. What I care about is living in a country where, decent people can live happy lives, actually. And so, no, I would say immediately, no, are you joking? And I maybe would make up some pretext for public consumption, like, oh, they're dangerous. The technology's not quite finessed. No. But the truth would be, I don't want to put 10 million men out of work because you're going to have 10 million dead families, and the cascading effect from that will wreck your country.
So back to the technology question. So it's fascinating to me that you're so willing to restrict technology in this particular area, not because it's not a justifiable policy.
Not willing.
Eager to, yeah.
Thrilled
to
do that.
What's the limiting principle? Because
now one can say that the line of reasoning between Carlson's and Shapiro's ideologies stems from a place of populism, where Carlson tries to posture himself as the everyman, while Shapiro plays more into the pulled himself up by his bootstraps libertarian archetype. And although this may be true, that doesn't explain the inherently negative outlook held by Carlson towards AI. A populist could just as well believe that automated driving could open up new jobs related to the creation, upkeep, and maintenance of this new hypothetical technology. But that's not the case here. Essentially, there has to be something else, some other variable that transcends the political compass and shapes one's perspective on the future of AI and its implications on society. In CGP Gray's video titled "Humans Need Not Apply," he makes a great analogy with horses and the automobile that might offer greater insight into explaining one's hostility towards AI regardless of politics.
Imagine a pair of horses in the early 1900s talking about technology. One worries all these new mechanical muscles will make horses unnecessary. The other reminds him that everything so far has made their lives easier. Remember all that farm work? Remember running from coast to coast delivering mail? Remember riding into battle? All terrible. These new city jobs are pretty cushy, and with so many humans in the cities, there will be more jobs for horses than ever. Even if this car thingy takes off, he might say, there will be new jobs for horses we can't imagine. But you, dear viewer from Beyond 2000, know what happened. There are still working horses, but nothing like before. The horse population peaked in 1915. From that point on, it was nothing but down. There isn't a rule of economics that says better technology makes more better jobs for horses. It sounds shockingly dumb to even say that out loud, but swap horses for humans and suddenly people think it sounds about right. As mechanical muscles pushed horses out of the economy, mechanical minds will do the same to humans. Not immediately, not everywhere, but in large enough numbers and soon enough that it's going to be a huge problem if we're not prepared, and we're not prepared. You, like the second horse, may look at the state of technology now and think it can't possibly replace your job, but technology gets better, cheaper, and faster at a rate biology can't match. Just as the car was the beginning of the end for the horse, so now does the car show us the shape of things to come.
If CGP Grey had to be placed on the political spectrum, he would probably fall somewhere on the liberal side of things. And regarding AI, he could be considered a skeptic, getting at the idea that one's politics aren't really tied to being either an idealist or skeptic concerning the question of AI. Some noteworthy idealistic perspectives on the future of AI come from Google co-founder Larry Page, quoted as saying, "Artificial intelligence could be the ultimate version of Google, the ultimate search engine that would understand everything on the web. It would understand exactly what you wanted and it would give you that right thing." World Economic Forum founder Klaus Schwab joins Larry in his optimism. We must address individually and collectively moral and ethical issues raised by cutting-edge research in artificial intelligence and biotechnology, which will enable significant life extension, designer babies, and memory extraction. On the contrary, some of the world's most influential thinkers are a bit more hesitant. Theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking believed that the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race, because it would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate, unlike humans who are limited by slow biological evolution. Tesla, SpaceX, and Twitter CEO Elon Musk had similar remarks, being even more blunt with his prediction that the risk of something seriously dangerous happening is in the 5-year timeframe, 10 years at most. For additional context, Musk actually posted these remarks to an online community website of science and technology intellectuals called edge.org back in 2014, before quickly deleting it. Now, one could spend all day theorizing about his reasoning for deleting said post, from Rocco's basilisk to simply having a change of heart, but either way, as of this recording in 2023, we have but 1 year left. I don't know about y'all, but I'm definitely keeping my eyes peeled. Alright, so we've jumped around a bit now, but to summarize our findings, people more or less view AI in either a positive or negative light. But this isn't because of politics, or at least it isn't in most cases. Or is it? Well, I guess that's what this video is all about. Is AI a plague or a panacea? Let's find out. Before getting into the question of artificial intelligence's potential role in society, let's first roll back the clock and get a baseline understanding of this technology. AI is a fascinating topic that has captivated people's imagination for years. From science fiction movies to real-world applications, AI has been an integral part of our lives. But where did this really begin? The history of artificial intelligence dates back to the ancient world, with examples spanning various civilizations. Of course, for most of human history, the technology wasn't advanced enough to bring these ideas fully to life, but they existed nonetheless. Most of these were automatons, or mechanical devices made to imitate human beings. Some through magic, some through science, but all of them still pretty interesting. Here's an example of just a few. Greek mythology frequently made mention of intelligent beings that were engineered rather than created or evolved. Talos was a giant automaton made of bronze to protect the Phoenician princess Europa from pirates and invaders that wanted to kidnap her. In the 3rd century BC, the Chinese text Li Ji tells the tale of an inventor from some 700 years prior who created an automaton that could dance for the king. During the Islamic Golden Age, Ismail al-Jazari, often described as the father of robotics and modern-day engineering, created several hydraulics-powered automatons that did everything from serving drinks to playing music. During the Middle Ages, Rabbi Judah Loew ben Bezalel of Prague was rumored to have invented the golem, clay man brought to life as a means for medieval Jewish mystics to come closer to God. In 1818, English novelist Mary Shelley published the story of Frankenstein, which could be considered a playing out of the ethical dilemmas surrounding the creation of sentient beings. And oh, well, look at that. We're already closing in on the modern era. Well, yeah, in 1950, English mathematician, computer scientist, logician, cryptanalyst, philosopher, and theoretical biologist Alan Turing proposed the Turing test. The Turing test is performed by placing a human in one room and a machine in another. A judge then asks questions on any subject that a human should be able to address in each room. The machine passes the test if it shows its capability to understand human syntax, which would be a necessary first step in the development of artificial general intelligence. It is important to note, however, that no matter how well a computer performs on the test, there's no practical method for us to really determine whether the machine truly understands human semantics. Because of this, some AI researchers have claimed that the Turing test is no longer relevant due to its methodological restriction. Now, as we approach today, we begin to see more concrete examples of AI. In 1956, the Dartmouth Summer Research Project on Artificial Intelligence was organized by John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, Nathaniel Rochester, and Claude Shannon. The workshop was one of the first of its kind, and the term artificial intelligence was chosen partly for its neutrality from a terminology standpoint, compared to the narrowly focused automata theory or analog-centric cybernetics. That same year, The Logic Theorist, a computer program written by Alan Newell, Herbert A. Simon, and Cliff Shaw, was created. What was so special about this program was that it was a pioneer for simulating some aspects of people's ability to solve complex problems. In the following years, AI technology progressed rapidly, and the development of neural networks and machine learning algorithms paved the way for advanced AI applications. The 1960s saw prestigious institutions like MIT and Stanford really begin to ramp up their departments relating to AI, and in the 1970s, the first expert system was developed. Essentially, an expert system is a computer system emulating the decision-making ability of a human expert. Due to a myriad of reasons, progress in AI slowed down in the 1980s due to limited computing power and the lack of data. It wasn't until the 2000s that AI technology saw a resurgence, thanks to advancements in hardware and the availability of big data. Today, AI is used in various applications, such as speech recognition, image recognition, autonomous vehicles, and healthcare. AI has become an essential part of our daily lives, and its impact will only continue to grow in the future. Wow, well, we really just covered over 3,000 years of history. And with that, let's now turn to talk about AI in pop culture. AI has been a popular topic in pop culture, and its portrayal has been a mix of fascination and fear. In the early days of AI, movies like 2001: A Space Odyssey and Blade Runner depicted AI as intelligent beings capable of emotion and independent thought. These movies sparked public imagination about the potential of AI and its role in society. However, as AI technology advanced, so did its portrayal in pop culture. Movies like The Terminator and The Matrix depicted AI as a threat to humanity, capable of taking over the world and enslaving humans. These movies reflected the growing fear and uncertainty about the future of AI and its impact on society. In recent years, AI has now been portrayed more from a nuanced perspective in pop culture, depicting AI as companions, friends, love interests, and rivals. These movies explore the relationship between humans and AI and the ethical questions that arise from creating intelligent beings, harkening back to Mary Shelley's stories from over 2 centuries ago. And as we can see now, AI in media is definitely not monolithic. There have been instances of AI playing roles for the good, bad, and ugly, and maybe that might play a role into shaping people's outlook. But hey, that's enough of me staying cooped up in this room. How about we go get some insights from real people? Okay, so we're actually heading over to CVS right now to get some batteries for the camera that Walter so graciously said he'd help me record the street interviews with. And so once we have those, we'll be able to do the street interviews, but we're gonna get the batteries first.
Gonna get some AAA batteries. Let's see if they have them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that score. So we're using self-checkout right now, which is pretty interesting. Like, in fact, most, or I guess not most, but a lot of the checkout places at the CVS are self-checkout. All right, we good?
We good.
Okay, back. All right. Okay, so we got the batteries and we'll be doing the screen reviews in just a sec. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
That's fine. Okay.
Okay, good. Cool. All right. Yeah, and so we realized that we're in like a shopping center right now, and there's like a bunch of cars, which means there's definitely a bunch of people that we could be talking to instead of necessarily needing to go to a mall or like the town center. So, I think we'll just run the street interviews around here. But yeah. All right, let's do it. All right, so we are in Roche Bros right now, and we're going to be doing a bunch of like interviews with different people that we just kind of see. We're basically going to be asking them 4 questions, which are, what's AI? What are your thoughts on AI? What industry do you work in? And what role do you think AI could play in the industry? We'll get people's thoughts and their input. So yeah, let's run it. You have time to speak? We're working on a school project right now. I got it. I'm sorry. Thanks. No problem.
Stuff out here.
You have time to speak right now? I'm working on a school project about AI, and we just wanted to get people's thoughts on the future of
Camera.
Yeah.
That makes me. What about the future of artificial intelligence?
Yeah. So I guess, do you know what AI is?
Absolutely.
What would you say are your thoughts on AI as a role in society?
There are so many facets to that question that I'm not sure that can be answered here, because you have educational components which aren't necessarily good, but at the same time, it's all in a matter of how you educate the user.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. And then, if you don't mind us asking, what industry do you work in?
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher. Okay. All right. So yeah, there's definitely like that. Especially like ChatGPT and stuff like that. Like people use
Right.
cut corners on assignments and stuff like that. But I guess what role do you think AI could play in the industry that you work in, which would be education? Like for better or for worse?
Oh, there are positives and negatives in both aspects. It's a terrific resource as long as it's not doing the work for you.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. I'd say I definitely share that philosophy. I think it's a good resource in helping people like get ideas and get started on stuff. But yeah, definitely when people use it more so as like a tool like to get things done as opposed to like maybe inspiration or like you have already done the work but like basically leveraging apps and output. Yeah, that's definitely something that's more of a harm more than helper. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. But yeah, thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
you're very welcome.
Are you free right now to have a quick conversation? It's for a school project at Wood College of Engineering. Yeah, okay, no worries.
Cool. Awesome. Cool.
Sick. All right, so the first question that we have is, like, do you know what AI is?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on AI?
Honestly, some people don't like it. I think it's good. Honestly,
Okay.
I think it's going to advance society forward
Okay.
in the long run. Right now, you know, it's still in the early stages, but I think in the long run, when people kind of get a hold of it, yeah, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, that's cool. And so, I guess what industry would you say that you work in?
Well, I'm going to be going into communications and broadcasting. Right now, I'm just doing some, like, you know, odd jobs, just working in grocery, stuff like that. But, yeah, it's not very applicable here, as you could imagine. But, yeah.
And so then, I guess, yeah, when you go to communications, what role do you think that AI could pose to play in that industry?
I'm not too sure. Honestly, I guess I could, yeah, I'm not too sure. Maybe, I guess, in broadcasting and stuff like that.
Okay.
It could cut a lot of corners. But, yeah, specifically, I'm not too sure. I guess we'll see.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Like, I remember there's this one video that I watched. It was talking about how, like, some people were like worried about AI, like things like Mid-Journey, kind of like
Yeah.
getting rid of like animators' jobs and things like that.
Yeah.
But then, like, one argument that they made was that kind of like how the 3D visual software in like the 1990s
Right.
made making movies a whole lot easier, and because of that, we have like Pixar movies.
Right.
Like, maybe AI would just. It's not necessarily going to be like as much of a negative as people post it out to be, and it actually could be a tool that helps, you know, basically allow maybe even more independent studios compete with bigger workplace. I guess, what are your thoughts on that type of debate?
I could honestly see both sides. It could automate a lot of stuff, and that could be good or bad, I guess. Because, like you said, it could put a good amount of people out of jobs. Mid-Journey is just getting better and better as time goes on. You know what I mean? It's having more and more sample sizes. But yeah, it will definitely put some people out of jobs as time goes on, and it gets better and it's used more by corporate and the bigger industries. But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for taking. Or should we do one more?
I think we should do one more.
Okay. All right. Let's make it count.
Last one, make it count. I'm out here in the Sonys, got noise cancellation, getting some recording in. Audio sounds crisp, even with the wind. So we'll see what that's about. Starbucks.
All right. So we decided not to do the Starbucks because they had music playing in there. So, yeah. I mean, just gotta find somewhere. Interesting. Yo, excuse me. Do you have time to talk real quick?
I don't. I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Is a video project on AI and its role that it has to play in society and what people's thoughts on that are basically. And so yeah, basically, could y'all describe what AI is or what AI means to you two?
So to me, AI is it stands for artificial intelligence, I believe, and it's basically like a robot, like in my eyes. It's something that's engineered to talk to you, especially on Snapchat with the new AIs that they have. And I mean, it's alright.
Okay.
I would say the same thing I said.
Okay. All right. And what are your thoughts on AI?
I don't like it and I don't trust it.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like people are gonna some people who are really lazy are gonna let it run their lives, and later on in life, people are gonna get so dependent on it that whoever the manufacturer is, I don't know. I believe in sci-fi movies, so I feel like at someday people are gonna just take over and we're gonna become so reliant on technology. We're not gonna be able to go to school, do things we normally do, and just be basically human beings.
What I'm scared of is AI is actually developing feelings. There's a game called Detroit, if you want to play it. That game basically summarizes how the AIs develop feelings and stuff, and people were just throwing them away, and then they were getting back at them and whatever. And that's something I don't want to happen. So I feel like we should just leave AI alone, because I heard that they were gonna make AI to bring back dead relatives, put somebody else's conscious in AI, and so you could talk to them, which is crazy because if somebody's gonna die, leave them leave them be, let them rest in peace.
I agree. All right. Yeah. Honestly, yeah. There's a lot of I think a lot of people aren't really asking whether they should versus whether they can do something, and that's the issue. There's a whole lot of the ethical issue in terms of people making AI applications that aren't necessarily gonna benefit people in the long run. And so yeah, y'all definitely touched upon that. Yeah. So if y'all don't mind me asking, what industry do y'all work in currently? If you work.
We don't work. Students.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, yeah. Honestly, what role do you think AI can play in terms of education from a student's perspective?
What role?
Yeah.
A good role it could play would be if a teacher was out and they had things to do, an AI could try to interpret because the subs aren't eating, they just aren't. The subs are terrible. But I feel in a bad way, I feel AI could develop you said feelings or help kids go towards a different conscious, and the democracy of the world would be just done.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard that they were gonna make schools. They were gonna make it AI based. I'm so serious. You can look it up. They were gonna have AIs teaching children kind of online school, but it's an AI teacher, which is crazy. And I feel like kids, especially a lot of kids nowadays, when they're growing up with mental learning disabilities and stuff, they need that emotional support that only a human can provide them. And if we're putting emotional support into an AI, it's no longer an AI. You're basically creating a human, and we shouldn't be playing God.
Yeah, that's valid. Definitely, especially since I think a lot of people forget that AI, even the most advanced models, they're still trained on a specific set of data, and if that data has any biases built into it, then that's gonna have a cascading effect. So like, for example, I don't know if y'all are familiar, but like with like facial recognition software, like earlier on, since like the people who developed it were mostly like older white men, like they would basically train it on themselves. And it wasn't necessarily like malice. It was just like the people in the lab, they were training the AI on themselves, and so that it wouldn't be able to recognize faces of people of color or women. And so like that was like a bias that had to eventually be figured out. And so yeah, definitely in the education space, things like that. I think people definitely need to take that to make sure things like that happen. So, yeah, I'll definitely touch upon that. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. So thank you. Yeah, Alright, so after I was done getting the word on the street about what different people thought about AI, I realized that there was someone that I wasn't asking, the AI itself. And so I decided to actually type into ChatGPT what AI thinks about itself, and I'll just play what it said.
Artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science that focuses on developing computer systems that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as understanding natural language, recognizing images and patterns, and making decisions. AI systems are designed to learn from data, improve their performance over time, and adapt to new situations. AI can be classified into two main categories: narrow or weak AI and general or strong AI. Narrow AI refers to systems that are designed to perform a specific task, such as speech recognition or image classification. These systems are highly specialized and can only perform the task they were designed for. In contrast, general AI refers to systems that can perform any intellectual task that a human can, from playing chess to writing a novel. General AI is considered the ultimate goal of AI research, but we are still far from achieving this level of intelligence. AI has numerous applications in various industries, including healthcare, finance, transportation, and manufacturing. For example, AI can be used to diagnose diseases, predict the stock market, optimize transportation routes, and automate manufacturing processes. AI is also used in consumer products, such as voice assistants, self-driving cars, and smart home devices. However, AI also raises several ethical and social concerns, such as the displacement of human jobs, bias in decision-making, and the potential misuse of AI for nefarious purposes. As AI technology continues to advance, it is important to address these concerns and ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly. In conclusion, artificial intelligence is a rapidly advancing field of computer science that is transforming the way we live and work. AI systems are designed to perform tasks that typically require human intelligence, and they are built on several core technologies, including machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, and robotics. While AI has numerous applications and benefits, it also raises ethical and social concerns that must be addressed.
Wow. So is AI a plague or a panacea? Honestly, it seems like the truth is that it's a little bit of both. It definitely has the potential to solve many of the problems that we as a society face, but on the other hand, it seems like it'll create a lot of problems in the future as well if we're not careful. Luckily, for the foreseeable future though, humans will be around to help navigate those murky waters. But yeah, it seems like it's really up to us to make sure that we use AI responsibly and make sure that it benefits as many people as possible if we want it to become a panacea, and make sure that the people out there wanting it to become a plague don't really get their way. But yeah, it seems like it's a mixed bag. And now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
On the search for suspects. We outside right now.
Where is everyone?